Our country, is not just about Kyiv, Lviv, or Odessa.
Despite the risks, more and more Ukrainians are ready to go back to work.
Red hot greetings from President Zelensky is the most logical solution of this.
We approve.
Hello world, that's Kyiv, not Kiev, your one and only source into the political, cultural, and economic news from Ukraine.
My name is Тетяна Гайдук. Somewhere there. Ну та Таня, зберися. Пробач.
Hello world, that's Kyiv, not Kiev, your one and only source into the political, economic, and cultural news from Ukraine.
My name is Тетяна Гайдук. Somewhere there is Polina Bochuk, and we're very pleased you joined us this week.
So let's get started. On Monday, Ukraine's government agreed to extend a nationwide lockdown until the 22nd of May, but it also agreed to partially lift some restrictions starting from the next week.
The partial lifting of the restrictions includes opening parks and recreation areas and allowing some shops, such as those specializing in household goods or textiles, to open. Cafes can reopen for takeaway services.
And moreover, I'm very happy to say that they finally allowed the opening of beauty salons, cafes, summer venues, libraries, and museums. And there is one condition, of course, to take all the necessary measures to provide the epidemiological situation, but that's very good news.
That's a must. Truth be told, if the government did not make the decision to soften the quarantine, Ukrainians would have made this decision themselves because people's savings melt away. So, despite the risks, more and more Ukrainians are ready to go back to work.
As the food markets were closed due to the sanitary restrictions, Ukrainian farmers had no place to sell their products. And because of this, in the Kherson region, several hundreds of farmers blocked the road in protest against the closure of the markets.
Yeah, right. Protest mood dominated in the regions and peaked in Cherkasy. Local authorities have reduced quarantine restrictions for local businesses without waiting for a government blessing decision.
And while the mayor of Cherkasy got strong support of his colleagues from Lviv and Ivano-Frankivsk, his decision actually sparked outrage from the central government. Interior Minister Arsen Avakov angrily tweeted to him, and the mayor also got personal red-hot greetings from President Zelensky.
Yeah, but the public took the side of the mayor. And the reason for this is not his personal charm or something like that, but a sense of injustice. People were outraged that while the small business is on the verge of a bankruptcy because it was not allowed to operate during this time, the network of large hypermarkets Epicenter, owned by ex-MP Hereha, is working. And
while cafes and restaurants are unable to save jobs for their staff, the Velour restaurant owned by MP Mykola Tyshchenko from Presidential Party Servants of the People is operating as usual.
From next week, the country will gradually start moving back to normal. However, we remind you that this is only mitigation of restrictions, which have been extended. It's been a year since Marie Yovanovitch left her post of the US ambassador to Ukraine. And only now, on May 1st, Trump announced who will become the new head of the mission, because now the embassy is headed by a chargée d'affaires ad interim, Miss Christina Quinn.
So the newcomer is... This is Case Dayton, though of course his candidacy is yet to be confirmed by the US Senate, but given the Senate's constant support of the president...
So, who is who? Dayton is currently holding the position of the senior US defense advisor to Ukraine and also of the director of the George Marshall Center in Germany. His current service follows a 4-decade career in the US Army. Retiring in 2010, was at the rank of lieutenant general.
In 2018, the perspective US ambassador to Ukraine called Ukraine a priority country for the United States, citing, "You, mean us, are reforming your military during hostilities, and our duty is to provide any advisory support which will be helpful in your reforms."
The new appointee is an experienced security professional who has held senior positions in the Middle East. That is why the war in the Donbass will not be an unusual experience for him.
Out of everything we know about Keith Dayton, we can say that that's the man who will most likely not be perceived both in Washington and Kyiv as a lobbyist of Trump's personal interests. After the scandal with the alleged pressure on Zelensky involving Trump's personal lawyer and high-ranking US diplomats, that has led to the impeachment proceedings in the US, and Dayton's appointment is the most logical solution of this.
We have proof. European countries, one by one, are limiting international travel of their citizens this summer and are considering plans to promote inland tourism.
It is still not known whether European borders will be open to foreign tourists.
Yeah, we don't know even yet whether the Ukrainian authorities will allow the international transport service to be restored at all.
That is why, especially for the people whose Instagram profiles were updated long ago, we have been looking for some unknown Insta places in Ukraine for you, and we have found plenty of them.
Yeah, by the way, you can check out our Around Ukraine trip, in which our guests are trying to find Ukraine on some pictures, because some places are like the spitting image in France and Ukraine, Iceland and Ukraine, and even Japan and Ukraine.
So coming back to the Insta places and our special research, just believe me, the photos taken there will provoke the most sophisticated travel bloggers to envy you.
Yeah, so number 1. Kyiv region, Motyzhin, Dobropark. More than 1 million tulips bloomed in Dobropark, a dendro park near Kyiv. No need to fly to the Netherlands anymore to take pictures in the middle of the blossoming field. Here you have it! Organizers promise that there will soon be a lavender field, a valley of grasses, and a dinosaur park.
Mykola region, Pervomaisk, a beautiful blue lagoon appeared a month ago at a mining site where white clay was mined. The water from the quarry is pumped out, but those lucky to catch this phenomenon have got great pictures.
The Legulsky estuary between Mykolaiv and Odessa regions. Pink flamingos in Ukraine, can you believe that? Birds were spotted last week in the Legulsky Landscape Park. In Europe, you could find pink flamingos in southern France, Spain, and Sardinia only. Recently, they appeared in the south of Ukraine and hopefully will stay there for a long time.
Khmelnytsky region, Lisets. The 5-meter-high Bourbon Falls fall into a lake with blue water. Just take a look at it and try saying that this picture was not taken somewhere in exotic Bali, but was taken in Khmelnytsky region.
It's my small motherland, by the way, because I was born in Khmelnytsky region, so I'm planning to go there definitely. So, Rivne region, Klevan. The Tunnel of Love is a section of industrial railway located near Klevan, Ukraine. It's a railway surrounded by green arcs and is 3 to 5 kilometers in length. It's known for being a favorite place for couples to take walks and make proposals.
There are just a few little-known places that we've decided to share with you to demonstrate how beautiful unknown Ukraine is. Our country, is not just about Kyiv, Lviv, or Odessa, and I'm sure that every single region, including the region of yours, has picturesque Insta locations.
So, if you live in Ukraine, write down in comments what locations in your city or village is worth millions of likes in Instagram, and post some pics to prove that in the comments below, or tag us in your post so that we could see it. We'll be happy to share your photos on our Facebook and Instagram pages.
And now we're gonna break for the surprise episode involving our new co-hosters. What?
Tasty, sweet, and colorful.
Delicious, colorful, and you can't regret.
Colorful. Usually it was very hot, not like spicy, but just like temperature wise. And I have to go with delicious. It's kind of generic, but I did enjoy it. I do like foods.
The Italians and Ukrainians eat a lot of beef.
We both like fresh stuff like tomatoes, cucumbers. So when I think about salads,
Potatoes, we eat a lot. As you?
we both like meat. Yeah, and cheese. Actually, yes, Ukrainian cheese is more or less like ours. I think so, like in Germany.
Here in America, we might just borrow a lot of our food. So I felt like Ukrainian food really kind of stood on its own. It had, I mean, of course, there were some similarities, but I can't really think of anything off the top of my head that was incredibly, similar side by side.
Ukrainians eat a lot and they always invite you to eat, and if you don't eat everything, they think that you didn't like it.
Very impressive, all the courses. I mean, you start with like first course, there is a soup, and so together with bread. This is something that what we do not have in common. So, and after the first course, maybe another salad, and you feel, okay, no, it's good. It was so nice. Thank you for the meal. And then, oh, what are you talking about?
Oh, you eat a lot of bread also.
I remember being to Western Ukraine, and we've been to some breweries. They made their own beer, and this was really delicious. I didn't expect it.
I was there for work, and so it was a lot of conferences, a lot of busy stuff. But at the same time, we would always sit down and have meals together. And I really liked that.
I really like borscht because it's colorful. It's, it has this red color, so it invites you to eat it because it's very strange.
The color of borscht maybe reminds you, I wouldn't say blood.
And when you try it has a taste, very good taste of beetroot, of course, a mixture of textures and tasty.
Cherry filled like little pasta pocket. And when I had it, it had some type of cream on top that was it was incredible. I'm not sure what type of cream it was, but it really like sealed all the flavors together, and it was like every type of flavor you could imagine kind of all rolled into one delicious bite.
Okay, I don't know the name. I think it's meat with jelly.
Oh goodness. I'm gonna say that I don't think I've had this one. It looks like some type of like gelatin congealed chicken, maybe?
I know it's холодец. I never tried it because I don't like this glibbery thing around. But I like the meat inside.
Yeah, I know it. Oh, I love them. Pelmeni?
Oh, I like it very much.
Is that the vareniki?
It's vareniki.
I tried them when I was in Lviv, and they were amazing. Very, I really like them. No.
It looks like some sort of like leaf wrap. Like, is it a cabbage leaf of some sort?
Galupci. I like this because in Germany we have the same like galupci, but they are bigger. And here we have the small things, and I always think, oh God, these are really hard-working people in the kitchen who prepare the small things, and they roll it, and they do it, and they prepare everything so that it fits to you, and you just come and eat, and so on.
Oh. No.
Compote.
Yes. this juice. It's a type of, I drank it. I don't remember what it is though. It has a very distinct flavor.
Usvar, yes. Usvar.
20.
As many cooks in Ukraine, as many recipes exist in Ukraine, I think. Let's say 100,000.
It's a lot. So you can choose which ingredients put and mixture.
But I know it's very hard to cook. It takes a lot of time, long hours to prepare. So I never tried it on my own.
Kyiv.
Perfect.
I'm trying to make sure. I'm having like flashbacks of like the American spelling in my head. I'm going to go with Kyiv.
It's very difficult because we spell it like Kiev, but I know it's in English Kyiv.
The express food delivery service Uber Eats is pulling out of all but its core markets in Central and Eastern Europe. The company announced this week. No more Uber Eats in the Czech Republic, Egypt, Honduras, Romania, Saudi Arabia, Uruguay, and Ukraine.
All these countries are united by the fact that Uber Eats did not succeed in becoming the leader, or it was the second number in the delivery. So seems like Glovo and Raketa services did it better in the country.
So by June 4th, Uber Eats will leave Ukraine, which appears, by the way, have the lowest income levels in the region, but Moldova. Uber taxi service will continue to work.
Thanks, God. I love Uber.
Thank you for watching us today.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you could never ever miss anything important and interesting from Ukraine.
Please press the like button under this video, of course, in case if you liked it, because we do share all the uncensored news and the insights and our opinion and everything is happening in Ukraine, and it's very important for us to feel your support.
Comment below the stories that impressed you most of all from this episode, and don't be shy to share the stories that you'd like us to discuss in future next week.
Yeah, so thanks again for being with us.
These were Polina Boychuk and Tatiana Hajduk.
Stay safe and kind, and remember the most important thing, that Kyiv is not Kiev.
From Ukraine with love.
Another episode is done.